I'm Bill Forquer, here to talk about when your business gets to the proverbial fork in the road. Not a bad thing. Every business is going to get there, and your ability to navigate that fork in the road means the difference between being successful or not. And we're talking not little forks here, the biggest, hardest, most gut-wrenching, bet the farm kinds of decisions that businesses will face in their time. And as if the decisions aren't hard enough, right? You've got the clock ticking on you every day, you've got lots of money at stake, you've got shareholders and owners breathing down your neck for the right kind of response in this situation. So think about how decision-making works in a company when you're facing this kind of decision, right? Well, one common technique is people just pull out a dartboard and they pick. And you know what? If all outcomes lead to the same place, that's actually a pretty efficient technique, but they don't necessarily all lead to the same place. Lots of companies get completely paralyzed. There's no amount of data you can collect that's going to make you feel more comfortable when you're at a tough spot in the company's history. And then a lot of companies have this guy that's called Rambo. And Rambo just says, damn it, we're going this way, follow me. And people line up behind Rambo or he shoots them, right? And again, that can be efficient and effective technique. But fortunately, there actually is a more orderly, methodical, and proven process for decision making, and it's called game theory. It's a branch of mathematics, and a bunch of smart people have thought for a very long time about how to perfect this science. The most notable is a gentleman by the name of John Nash, mathematician from Columbia University. If you saw the movie A Beautiful Mind, starring Russell Crowe, that's about John Nash. Okay, so what? He's a bit schizophrenic too, and that made the storyline a little more interesting. So, game theory, think about playing chess. You and I are playing chess. We both have an offense, we both have a defense, and every time you make a move, I'm reevaluating my interpretation of what I think your offense is. And I may react offensively, or I may play defense. Well, game theory in a market is really like an n-sided chessboard, where you have all the players in the game lined up around the chessboard, and everybody's making their moves, and everybody's simulating and reacting offensively and defensively to everyone else's moves. So you can run a game simulation. You need three simple things. You need players, who's the boogeyman, who's the ankle biter, who's the 800-pound gorilla, right? All of those players in the game have options. These are like the chessboard pieces that you have. What moves can you make realistically as a player in the game? And then finally, you have preferences. And preferences are the things that you want to have happen, the things that you desire. What do you want to have happen? Preferences get expressed in two different forms. Something can be really important and preferred because you want it to happen out of desire, or something can be really important because you fear it happening. You pour that into some mathematical models, and what gets spit out are predicted outcomes of what's going to happen. How's everybody actually going to behave in this situation? And a tremendous number of insights about everyone's behavior. Those predicted outcomes, generally you focus on three outcomes. One is the natural outcome, and that's what's going to happen if everybody's left to their own devices. There could be a best case outcome. If you make a slightly different move early in the game, maybe you can do much better, and vice versa. You also get analytics on who really wields the power and influence. There are things called standoffs and auctions and coalitions and some really interesting constructs that come out of analyzing this. You've probably used the term zero-sum game. That term is right from game theory. It means my win is your loss. Conversely, if you're in a market where that might be described as a rising tide lifts all boats, that's a non-zero-sum game. Deadlocks are another attribute that we often find inside of these game simulations, and that's when everybody is waiting on everybody else to do something. Deadlocks can really work to your favor or sometimes not, depending on your situation. So markets are organic. They're born, they live, they die, and so are the companies that are inside them, right? Just that everybody's at a different phase of their cycle. So what's key is for you to understand where you are and where all your competitors are in your market. So the next time you're at a fork in the road, set down your dartboard, ask Rambo to sit down and think about applying a structured process like game theory to make your best decision.